Okay, it's day one and coming into the live market open for gold at very least. Uh, Just to give a little look back onto what I discussed for the breakdown of the four markets I'm looking at. Gold is one of the ones where we had a break above this 4 hour indication level on the, oh, sorry, in the 1 hour indication level here. Oh wow, this is doing a global crosshair. That's awful. Okay, it's going to work a bit better. Yeah, we had a break above the 1 hour bullish trend indication, waiting for that correction. You can see that's coming along nicely. I'm going to set another alert for that just so that you can see that probably was the highest high. So this is the market that I'm kind of interested in the most. Actually, I'll say that LTY has got this lovely. We've got the ICC happened already. So we had an indication, broke above 15 minutes here. Came under the indication line, so we're looking to go bullish above. So waiting for that to go above, and just in terms of the short term, made up with kind of equal high. So it's stagnating a little bit, looking for that to come up to here-ish to get that continuation above the indication level. So nothing much to do there. Having a little look on the Nasdaq, we have got a continuation of this balance. So look at that. It's just, oops, perfectly staying in balance, balance. A little attempt here to go long, failed. Attempted to go short, failed. And imbalance. So nothing to do there. And for the 6E or the euro, got this reaction level. What's going on here? Chart went a bit weird. He had a reaction level, we came above. We are making higher highs, lower highs, lower lows, higher lows, lower high, slightly equal or lower. So yeah, there's a real potential that we're going to be pushing this down. Just really aware always of this reaction level, potential to go long above. So ideally, we're going to continue the trend to the bullish side. So that would be in line with this guy. But I really want to see what happens around that reaction level from the 4 hour. Let's just come to that again to see. Look at that. This is a 4 hour reaction level. So 8:40. COMEX exchange has already opened. So that is a place I'm interested, but not much going on. Let's just have a look in terms of the short term. Just in terms of the ICC structure, it's a bit of kind of some reps for me. Got a lower, higher low here. Always colour the lows in green because they're bullish. We've got buyers waiting there. This new higher high. Whoops. Got broken. Sellers coming into the market, pushing it down. Look at that, big indication. That's my indication, really, the place I'm interested in. Oh, interestingly, actually, on the 15-minute, yeah, it was here on the hour, but I've got that that break indication. But there is a smaller indication on the 15-minute chart. This small area of value here. Again, indication above. Also got then on the 15 minutes, our smaller area of value at the top here. balance. Tempting to short it, but we'd be going against both of the trends. So don't really want to do that. So again, just setting in the alerts. And that's it. So I'll pause there and come back in a bit. Just to make it nice, I've put it's paused on there, so yeah. I'm going to get on with some other bits until my alerts tell me otherwise. Just before I go, just to share here on the gold market, it's on a study of market structure, high-low, which is interesting because I really want to know if it's possible to set automated market structure breaks. It would have been interesting to have known when these highs happened and be able to have an alert to go off to alert me to their presence. And also, for example, here, I would have called that a higher low, so I don't know why it's not marked. So yeah, I'm not sure how kind of trustworthy this study is, but it could be useful for certain cases. I'd like to use it to trail really on the 4 hour. But let's put it on here just as interest. Market structure. It's given me my high there, but it hasn't given me all these other highs. So I don't know if it acts slightly on the conservative side. Keep an eye on how that plays out. Okay. So just a little catch up of where we're at. You can see that gold is still on that downtrend. The INC, the down monitoring for the correction. Well, IC is not done, in progress. Zero chart can be such a nightmare. Okay. And if we just check the it's looking, is that dated? Yeah, I mean we're live. It's low. So you can see what's happening here as well is that we're sitting between this 15-minute low, yeah, 15-minute high. What we need is a indication below, and then the same hard ICC all the way to bring us down to that level. So we'll see what happens. RTY again, I is done, and the hang on, where are we long? We're long here. This is where it gets confusing. The correction's done. I'm quite new to this really. So it's not the continued correction, it's the continuation. This is why it's good to record these. So yeah, we've got our waiting for the continuation to pass the indication level, which it's doing. Look there, this is perfect. Example of ICC, it's made new high, new low, indication above. It's now bearish. And then we'll be looking to take that to the long side. Now, of course, I could enter, I'm choosing not to because we're still below this level, which, as a reaction level, is short until we've passed it. So let's not mess around. On the Nasdaq, again, just sitting in beautifully in that range, nothing to do there. Same on 6C, we've come to the top end of the range, but again, I want to know that the buyers are serious and that there's enough risk reward landscape. So I've got lots of other things to get on with, so I'm just going to leave that with the alerts ticking over and come back. Maybe we can put here arrows just on these to show what we're actually after. Okay. A little bit of a break there. Let's come back to the charts. So gold. Again, this balance. Looking like we might be moving to the upside. This is the indication. Might be that that's too long an indication to expect this pullback. I'll look at that in a minute on the closer time frame. Whoops. On the RTY, we have indeed got that uptrend. Nice break there, coming back down. So getting there for that. In Q, put the break here to the upside. So we've been in balance. I want to look at the long-term areas. Just touching my alert. So let's just start off by having a quick look on gold. So what is now happening is that we're bullish all over. And it might be that my 4 hour doesn't play out. I've got a higher high. And I've come into a lower low. Bullish lower low. So if this were to break, we could look to take along above. Yeah. So potentially this setup I've got is invalid. And we're actually going to reverse a bit more quickly. But let's see what the interest is of the buyers above this kind of area of balance. See if there's interest in buying there. But for now, let's pop an indication line in here. And we'll see. Now in Q, I did want to just check out what else is going on here because 60-minute, yeah, there's still a score on the table. There's still, this is the area up here where the sellers can really come in. They do come in here as well. And we're not a million miles from there. So I want to be cautious. But it's an interesting time in terms of the global situation. So, could be that this comes up, makes an indication, comes back inside, grabs a bit of liquidity and then shoots. In which case, I want to jump on that long. Put my stop somewhere around about here. Let's see. 6E, again, similar pattern, similar shapes to NQ. Just want to check out though what the longer scale. I haven't quite got enough data here. Let's bring this up and then we can always knock that back down. Ah. Let's just make this into a historical chart. Okay, I don't know what let's do. Things are just starting to heat up a bit. This is the problem with alerts, is you can get them all over the place. You don't quite know where they're coming from. This is the gold, interestingly. I don't know where that alert came from. So here RTY. Yeah. So RTY has basically really pushed up in the last few minutes. And look at that, we're getting this lovely indication for that. So I'd say RTY is looking at really the market that I want to get in today. Maybe gold, but pushing for all-time highs. I think, to be honest, something that would be good be to kind of choose, when a market looks like it's the one you want to take, just go through and make sure there's no random alerts that you're not aware of. That aren't replicated on this final chart. I think all my alerts should be copied through. So I should be able to delete any alerts off these overview charts. But yeah, this is very strong buying here now. Again, remembering that on the RTY, on the large scale, the 4 hourly, I can't see it now. Okay, it doesn't seem to be a long-term error actually. It's just a standard indication area. So it's nice. So let's have a look. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of the other alerts. Just while I'm interested in what's happening on the Russell. Make sure there's no other alerts. Because that's something I've learnt is there's too much going on. It becomes a bit stressful. Okay. So 240. It's very nice still. Bring this down to the 6 minute. It's coming up to 3 o'clock in the UK, so it's still a good timing. Let's get my stop loss out. So at the moment, unfortunately, the best stop level I'll get will be here. Because we've got our new higher low, our new higher high. Of course, they are the critical things that we want to be aware of when it comes to a reversal of a trend. We need one of each. About high low uptrend. Nice one. I guess we're at 15 minutes. Let's come on to the 5 and start to see this trend break down a bit more clearly. Had a bit of a balancing here, to be honest. Kind of bit of ICC stuff here. There's a higher high. So actually, as we come down into the 5 minute, it's clear to see that the stop loss could be below this low. I like to go below the wicks. So I have a terrible tendency, which, totally understandable, to want to go closer than this 5 minutes, and it's just not worth it. A bit cold here. Okay. Just look at my. I've got £100, $100 risk across the board. I do have another chart that I've got linked over here, and I just want to make sure that is unlocked. That's a chart. Got no automated entries, so it's fine. Entering by market orders. Now, if I were just to bring this stop loss up, see, my stop loss determines the volume of the trade. So leave it down there for now. And I don't like staring at these charts, so let's pop an alert in there. So just coming back, here is the real value of alerts. Is that I was able to just leave this. And while I have been doing so, price high is formed. Let's get on with other things. This is potential ICC on the very short term here. Again, I just want to make sure actually I've got an alert on this. Now, the only problem with alerts is that I've ignored all the other charts, but there's very little to see. It's interesting on the euro, we've got a still above this reaction level, so we are still long on the reaction level. So this is potentially bullish move up. It's always been short, so a little look on that. Something doesn't feel particularly clean about this. I haven't got a clean high. It's all a bit. I feel like in terms of risk-reward landscape, it's not a huge amount of it. We'd be looking for this move. Just 30 ticks. Isn't really very much. So it's broken as previous now. It's still going to be a kind of level to monitor. There's another reaction level. Kind of want to also have a year really on here to know where we are a bit more. And we're clearly above this reaction level, so you know it's very bullish. So why don't we look to enter something here? Makes sense actually. And this is where it'll be interesting to watch these back and make sure things do make sense. So we've got our hourly. We have our indication break above this level. Just make sure I did have alerts on my Russell trade, yeah. So we've got that break above. And we are now, I mean, everything's bullish. You know, it makes sense to take this. Things are getting too hot. Something's not right about this computer, truly, but there we are. So we've had our eye done. The in progress. So we're looking for a, I don't want to use the word pullback, but an indication we've had that the sellers here have become buyers, or gotten out of the way at least. A whole bunch of new sellers here. It's fine. I've got this set up to send to another couple of accounts. Make sure that's all good still. Potentially running a bit heavy on the old processors here, so so let's get an alert in there. When we're looking to cross, or at very least touch our indication line. Stop at the moment is kind of a bit irrelevant. I wouldn't want it all the way down here, but that's where it would have to be from the 1 hour chart. Russell's made its new highest high. Considering whether it's going to carry on that trend. Thank you. Thank you. I'm concerned about because it's all balanced. Gold a few steps behind really. I was looking for that correction to come all the way back to the 4 early down here, but I look at it, we really need a push above for that. I think what I'm going to do is get rid of NQ off here. Simply because I could just turn it off altogether. Let's do that. What's that on the 4 candlestick? Follow. The danger is having too many things going on at once, basically. Okay, let's have a little look to RTY because it looks like it's forming this very nice higher low. Oh, excuse me. Not good, is it? Interesting how these levels do indeed match up. High low here. It looks as though, you know, you can put your money on these things, but something about the Russell I do like. So I've got my stop there. Hoping to get in a bit closer, to be honest. We'll see. Let's bring this down just when we get our new high. Note from there. Interestingly, we've got ICC here, look at that. Oh, kind of balance, high, low, pushes above, correction, and boom. Just scalp that. You were so inclined. Which I'm not. Now, why is my Euro chart not showing any nice colours? Strange. It should work. If it does, it's just there. Hidden away in there. Okay. Now, I haven't traded 6E for a while. Much happier with Russell. Forgive my orange eating. Okay, I'm going to pause this because it's just a waiting game for a bit longer. So I'm going to go on pause and we'll come back. It is 10:30 US. And it's looking at gold. It's failed to break those previous highs. And it's balancing. And it could be very well that this actually does want to do that 4-hour correction. So I'll just monitor that. RTY, deeper pullback than I would have expected, but also makes sense in the sense that we had a area of balance here. Highlight's not working. Oh well. Had an area of balance, indication, correction, and now potentially, if it breaks this higher low, that'd be my concern. More likely than not, we're going to continue, break the high, come up above the previous level, potentially offer a trade to the upside. 60's done one of those classic things that these markets do, but I am looking at the 15 minutes, so what do you expect? Hasn't come back to test. But let's just look a bit closer here. I've got my levels from the 60-minute chart on closed candles. These highs, which I think are fair, appropriate places for them. But as a result, I've not had the correction come back far enough. If I'd had it here, I would have potentially been offered that, but I haven't also got high, high, low, low, high, high. There's not enough granularity on this chart, so it's not worth it. So 6 a.m, let it do its thing. Gold, yeah, again, let's just put a new alert on that bottom side to see if we get, we'll play this as a 4-hour short if we wanted. It's a bad idea in a way because I want to go off the hours the most, and that the hour is trending up. Still got a higher low. I don't know why that says lower high, lower low. It's certainly higher than this low. It's probably from the other chart. Let's get rid of that. Anyway, so yeah, longs really on gold. So see what the interest is there. And again, it might break to the upside. It's having all this selling here. Might get an indication. So here's the secret with ICC idea, is that it's slow and it's a bit boring. Which is fine, I guess. So on the Russell, yeah, look at this. So we've had these high lows. Another high low here, another high low here, but another high low here, and it's breaking them. It's breaking those high lows, which is interesting. I mean, give it a bit of leeway. Might be taking out some stops here at the bottom. We'll see. Plenty of scope to the upside. So we'll see. So I don't think there's anything yet. I might go make a coffee. It's 3:30 UK. Got my alerts. I'm going to set another alert here on 6E for the pullback. It might be, that market makes a larger indication and then a pullback to that previous area. So we'll see. Where are we at? So there's been no pings. There's one ping on RTY, which was telling me that price is making a new lower low. So we can see here on the 15 minute. come down and touch the base of that lower low, which was kind of our balance area. Let's go on to the zoom in bit. In our chart, though, we were in balance. No, we're not. We went up, forming this area of balance. High highs, higher lows, but potentially reversal. But I've called this here a break, an indication, a correction. Massive liquidity grab. Quite sure what this line here is. I think that was my continuation. So fine. I mean, this is still all very much within what a correction could look like. No. So totally fine with that. It's a deeper correction. And we're just coming up here for the continuation. It's just taking a while. It's made a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Slightly equal at the bottom. So we just have to watch it. You know, I'm not on a 4 and a 1 hour bullish. I'm not going to take this short unless price shows me something like this reversing around to make a whole new move, which it could. You know, it could be very well that we just hit all of this. Move up, move up, move up. Lower high. I suppose if price were to break this, what could be a lower high, lower low, then we might start to look for indication for downside and start of a short move. So it's worth putting that here as an idea. Possible for 1 hour short reversal monitor. But it's coming up to 4 o'clock. It looks as though I'm not going to get in any trades today, which is fine. We'll see. This is very much a setup as still a correction. There's no other way I could read this unless we saw that as a high, high, low, low. The other way is seeing this high, 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 low. Break out to the bottom side. Retest. I wouldn't have gotten that anyway. Oh, 9 o'clock. That was yesterday. That wasn't even today. Today I can't see. Monday I can't see there being my understanding of ICC, I can't see any trade there. And there's, there's not going to be. Interestingly, we've got a orange candle there for something or other. Hasn't been indicated. For some reason. So yeah, gold's just hanging out. Not going anywhere. 60 is having a lovely time. And we'll see what happens with RTY. I'm going to go and make a cup of tea. Okay. Whoops. Quick cup of tea available. Yeah, look at that. What is the euro doing? It's interesting from a psychological viewpoint. I see that and I think, what have I missed? That means I've missed out on that. And that's an unhelpful bit of thinking because you haven't missed anything. If you have, the market's just doing its thing. And if you try and squeeze what's happened here into something, I mean, let's try and do it. I don't think it's a helpful way of thinking. Unless you're thinking so far out. Like that. But look, it's clear this is a reaction level. We've got some great pushing above. That's the 60-minute. We had our new no, an indication, but with no pullback. And then I responded well, because I thought, well, above this level, more likely they're going to go up. So this, I'm just going to see this as my indication. It might be that this takes a little longer to play out than I've got time for today. And that's fine. So let's mark this up. I use purple. Put my indication line. And then we'll be just looking for a correction. It's nice though. It's a good move. I mean, on 15, maybe you could, on 5 minute, you could have found a way to describe it, but like here, it's not helpful. Nice pullback there, but it's not. It's not. We got to stick to a way. Otherwise, you lose your marbles. What's happening here on gold? Had a little touch above. Not an indication by any means. This was all my indication, and that was my line, but that's no longer my hypothesis. So I need to mark this up afresh. Mellows. Quite tight. It's not a huge amount of kind of risk and reward on the table, really. So I'm not loving what's happening on gold right now. The Russell. Wow, look at that. Yeah, I mean, potentially. This is also not what I thought it was. Just fine. Lower high, lower low, equal low. We're going to get a lower low. I mean, yeah, basically. It's ranging. Well, mate, interest now. Interestingly, it's on 16. Might even bring up the NQ again. Potential. Problem with NQ is we've got these strong points of selling. Where the market just sells every time it reaches. And I don't really want to buy into them, but I mean, when you buy, the market does also go to them. Buyers go to sellers, you know. So I'll pop in the letter and we'll see. We'll monitor it. My alerts are not really pinging today. Not really getting struck. Actually, one's about to get struck right there on the Russell. Anyway, pause it for a bit. It is 4:15. Another half an hour or so. And I have to start to call it a day. So coming to the Russell, I think unfortunately to get any clarity, so we keep getting this drop. Clearly the market does not want to raise back above to carry on my supposed thingy to the upside. And the fact is, if we get a break below this low, new low, then we can look move to the downside. Unfortunately, we have also got this area here, but that's enough risk and reward on the table. It's enough of a distance. We don't need to worry about that too much. It's all the way down there. Can be a good destination. So let's see what happens around. This is a new potential indication now. We're looking for 1, 2, 3. On the low. So I was setting you alarm. No, I'm not going to give up on the original. And then we've got NQ doing a reversal. It's fine. 60, look at that. And gold as well. Not quite enough, really. But the euro very much entered its next phase. So let's get these charts updated. The indication, then we're looking for a correction. Which is yellow. And then, of course, my take profit target. Yep. Targeting those closed highs. I mean, technically, actually. Close highs on the 60-minute chart. What you want to be close, what you want to be targeting, really. So we'll see. Again, we need to get that break under, or at least that touching of our previous kind of area of interest on the 1 hour. I'm going to be a bit more conservative, more risky there, and put it up a touch. Very much starting to get a reversal, I would say. I mean, it might still, this might end up being a higher low. So everyone is nicely protected. Gold, I'm ambivalent. As I am with NQ. I'll leave it there for now. Well, I think very soon I'm going to have to call it a day. I'm going to have to make it a bit clearer my times that I work on this. But look, gold's gone back into balance. Fine. I don't want to trade to the downside, so is what it is. Well, that said, so many alerts. Yeah, it's not enough risk reward landscape. It's not worth it. RTY is very interesting. Had this area here. Balance, breakout. Indication there was interest in buying higher. Failure. But no correction. No continuation, really, to speak of. But what's happening now is we've got a high, lower, lower, low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So if we break under here, scrap all this, we can potentially look for our indications soon. But then correction, continuation. Danger is that we have a strong level there. So it might not be the best idea. But that's what we'll do. NQ, indication. Lovely indication. So we'll have to see what becomes of that. But there it is. And on the euro, I mean, I've called this level higher high. I actually called it the highest high. But we still made a higher low. You know, so this isn't necessarily the indication I'm looking for, but it might be. The interest will be if price makes a new high. So it's slow. And if I don't get the opportunity to get anything today, that's fine. Right? Okay, it's 5 o'clock in the UK, so, well, I have to cut that bit out. I'm gonna call it a day there. Final look at the charts. We have got, yeah, gold's just been balanced all session. Let's see how this plays out as well on the view apps. RTY. Yeah, again, balance really. Maybe there's going to be this break at the bottom end. NQ's finally had a bit of a push, but I haven't got the time for it. I'm the same with the 6E. If I have a look here, we can see how that looks in real life. Yeah, look, no real moves, no real trends on the intraday leading to anything interesting. The euro, honestly, this is the only interesting thing here. But this isn't pushing back enough to my area of interest, so it doesn't give me an intro. And Nasdaq, but again, it's reaching these highs. I'm not confident that there's enough buying strength to push above. So that's that. It's good. I mean, you know, it's good to do a full day on it and to come out not having lost any money, ready to fight another day.